their upper class, as you mentioned, was kind of like all druggies and they were all
just partying, yeah, just fucking
and,
celebrities, just a bunch of artist types, It just kind of reminded me of some shit like, I don't know, you see in Jersey Shore, right? Some fucking MTV shit. It's like, that's what it looked like.
So, I feel like maybe they were doing a lot of that because they're upper class. Usually when somebody is depicted as upper class, you see them sitting down having a meal, sort of like Wilford was at the end. You know?
But it was also the only time we really saw them was New Year's Eve.
Right.
Remember, like, that was the big deal. Is that, every time they circle this one part of the globe, it's been 1 year, and so it's a very big deal, and the train damn near rocks off the tracks, and, it's, and it's also, I think, the only way they know how old they are, because it was like Happy New Year and Happy Birthday, and like, oh, I hate getting old again.
But we had just seen the children, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't too long ago that we saw the children in class, you know what I mean? And the children, we go from, like, the children in class to seeing the people in masks and drinking a lot and doing drugs. What is the drug that they have called?
Oh my goodness! I'm trying creosote.
I don't remember.
Was that right? Look, check it. Yeah, let's do a quick fact finder on that. So while Senor Torres researches this very peculiar narcotic, I'm gonna tell you about some of the effects that we see of it throughout the film. So basically, if you deeply inhale this block, drug, and it will make you hallucinate, and also apparently it's flammable as fuck. So those are two things it's used for. Kind of just sniff it and get really high, and they meet this pair who are, I guess, they're more of the low class, but they are very, very specialty type entities they keep around. So apparently this low class is not the only people that they have on board. They also keep people in a, what do you call that? It's like a large freezer. It's like a morgue, but
I don't know what to call it.
And they're just kind of sitting there chilling in a very small capsule, and they pull out their bed, activate them, and one of them was the lead architect of the train.
Yeah. And
they knew to find him because they had been given maybe some type of news, or they just were investigating and found him, pulled the motherfucker out. He only speaks one language, right? And they have the little translator things that they get from because they're in the near future, so that shit has happened, right? Yeah. We got Google translating, so all you do is put that bitch into a little stick to your throat, and now she translates from there. But
so it's basically like a little hallucinogen that they take, and so it's called Chronol. Yeah. Anyway,
we're probably butchering a name. We apologize for that, but I don't think that the name of it, correct me if I'm wrong, was not gravely important, but I think it was more like the effect and the big finale at the end that we see. Yeah. It's like,
but what I was getting at is that they were all kind of on it, and they were
tripping balls.
Yeah, and so in my opinion, from what I could tell, was that they were using it as some kind of a lot of people, especially the guy that you're speaking of.
Forgot his name.
It's Namgung. Probably butchering that too.
Him and his daughter were both found on the two of the
Song Kang Ho
on the train, and they were both high as shit on this drug. And
so I feel like
and she's what do you call it? A telepath. She can have like these glimpses and premonitions into the future.
Yeah,
and
like an oracle of sorts.
Yeah, and so she could see about maybe 30 seconds, but uncontrollably though, right? Can't just throw away the whole story because one girl already knows the ending. Can see what's going to happen, so they have a bit of foresight into what's happening next.
Yeah, but essentially it was I felt like the upper class was kind of taking this in order to kind of forget about the situation that they were in. And I imagine that it wasn't just New Year's that was the reason they were using it so much. They probably were also kind of in a state of wanting to forget and wanting this to be over. And but it's a cycle, and they just keep going round and round and round.
Because they had a lot of it. I mean, I know it's, when you're talking about the top 1%, if we go to one of their New Year's parties, which I've not been to yet, but feel free to hit me up if y'all do want to have one of these motherfucking parties. This shit looks so loud. And it's probably just like, just cocaine and all other kind of shit everywhere, you know? So I imagine, like, we're similarly seeing what would that look like.
And so even if
17 years in past Ice Age.
Yeah. So even if the bat gets to the front, it's all still going to be a continuous cycle. And it's like what everyone says, like, money's not going to make you happy. So even if, say, you and I were to get a lot of money, we can make ourselves happy. I'm sure we could do it. I'm sure we'd find a way.
I feel like it can buy happiness. Yeah. But that's just my percent.
Everything is, you got to make yourself happy without,
So even Wilson, when we see him up in the front.
Wilford.
Wilson is the name of a volleyball in another popular film.
We'll probably cover that one at some point. That'd be fun.
So we get up there and we get to Chris Evans versus Ed Harris, and it's kind of everything you thought, right? Because Ed Harris totally looks like a fucking bad guy. Chris Evans, guess he looks like the good guy because he's played Johnny Blaze on and motherfucking Captain America. But whatever, hey, who's it to me to mix up universes of comic worlds?
Right.
But he gets there and he's like, yo, what the fuck? And Harris is telling him, yo, it's lonely at the top too. Yeah. Imagine me, I can't ever leave. I'd have to sit here and be a god and fuck my secretary. And it's just, and he's eating steak, and then Evans remarks, well, we're not all back there eating steak. And he's like, well, we're all prisoners here when you think about it. So
yeah.
And that was interesting. It's like, you're kind of right. Nobody can leave, whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
It's just how comfortable are you?
Everyone's trapped, and in his eyes, someone's got to do the dirty work.
Yeah.
And I mean, not always like that. And I actually, to put another little spin on it, I just finished watching a documentary on Disney, on the life of Walt Disney. And they were talking about how a lot of his workers wanted to join the union, and he thought, why are they so ungrateful that I gave them this job and I gave them this position and this ability to be creative and do this stuff, and why are they going against me? Which is an interesting way of looking at it, because believes that,
what the hell, guy?
Yeah, he believes that
how come I am not getting these? Somebody should be on these nuts right now. I'm over here giving away jobs. It's like, okay, because you're about to run this fucking park single-handedly.
Yeah, like he believes that everybody should be part of the vision, should follow his vision, and he's been right so far. Do what he says, and you'll be fine. And so after that strike, he never had the same trust for a lot of his people, and that's just such an interesting way to look at it when you're on the other side. It's
no shit. It's like, I am the provider. I am like this. It's like,
yeah, like I've done all of this for you. You're on my
train. They
train.
always try to make themselves into white Jesus, man.
Yeah.
And everybody else just peons, peasants, just waiting for a miracle. It's like, I'm the 1%. I'm the one doing everything.
Yeah.
I'm the one blessed by baby Jesus. It's like, oh, come on. Like, fucking seriously? No, you're fucking not. You're just an asshole that inherited a bunch of damn slave money. Yeah.
But it's a lot of the, your view. And
your perspective is really something. Yeah, it's really all about perspective, because again, they're all on this train together. No one can leave whether they want to or not. They even make that clear in the classroom. Yeah. And so it's really all about the level of comfort you have. And I don't even want to spoil the ending, because I feel like it's kind of, I don't want to say anything because like it's
you've probably already seen it.
yeah, you've already seen it. And give yourself something to think and talk about. But it's a reoccurring thing. These revolts are all engineered to happen to help thin out the population when it gets, too swole. When the back has too many kids,
Yeah.
they don't need that many parts. So they slim it down with these revolts and these uprisings. And, we see this one happen 7 years or something after another one occurred, because they said they used up all the bullets and they're not making any more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we get up there and it turns out,
Yeah.
you got Mr. Harris engineering it with the back. And if you fuck around, they have ways of dealing with you in this icy cold ass future.
Yeah, I personally am not a conspiracy theorist of any kind, but it's a tendency to happen that that if somebody's pushed to the brink, they're gonna take charge and try and hit back, and that's common in any place in time in life around the globe. Maybe in the future when we meet the aliens.
Oh, they're definitely they're gonna be turning tricks with us, man. We are not fucking ready for them. Yeah.
But yeah,
they gonna have us on that fucking train. Like Walt Disney telling his employees, y'all want a union? See that tiny train going around Magic Kingdom? I'll put your ass on there and you'll never come off.
So this was before the train.
And then they heard that and said, "Oh my god, he's fucking loco." Do what the fuck he says.
He's the locomotion.
But
yeah.
But I feel it definitely hits on a lot of those.
Yeah, classism is always going to be a big part of what causes fights, wars, and
I like the casting.
So,
I think that's what I like most about this film was the set. The set design was good.
Great.
Making us feel like in a very tight, compartmentalized spaces, the claustrophobia. Mm-hmm. But the casting, fucking Ed Harris and Octavia Spencer, like, who the hell got the budget? Hold on. And when did this release in theaters? It didn't. What the fuck?
They probably made it long before it got released.
Man,
I imagine
that's some film shit to think of.
Because it's an indie thing. You're right. Usually they get released like way after they're made. So,
but I like the casting the most because it just made everything pop.
What about the story?
The story was fucking. I mean,
not as good as the cast.
No, I think that I just appreciate seeing the cast in that type of story because I'm not seeing it like that.
Yeah, it's different.
Last time we saw Octavia Spencer, or at least not last time I saw her, but seeing her in The Help in a similar, reality of being at the very lowest possible place in this upper class world, and she fed a bitch a shit pie. So
now she's eating roaches.
Right, and it's like, oh man, right. So you can only imagine like what the repercussions are going to be.
Yeah.
And then, that's what I, just like seeing him in these different roles. I think that was pretty cool. And then the story was very dope itself, but, very popular, not popular, but very unique spin on the dystopia.
Yeah, it's always fun to see somebody outside of their determined character role that they usually take. I know there's a word for it, but I can't remember it right now, so that's okay.
It's cool, me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, very interesting. A lot of debate, a lot of real world taken into thought by the filmmakers. I'm sure when they come up with this type of stuff, and we touched on it a little, but we didn't really get to mention how close of a subject this is to like the what is it, Mockingbird films?
Oh yes, Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games.
Yeah,
films.
This is like a forced Hunger Game situation, but instead of everybody getting at least some little sector of land to live on, In Time is another one of those. Yeah, that kind of have that like dystopian, classism, and that large economic inequality that we see.
It's a popular plot point.
It is.
But it very real.
It has. It was funny. It's like a lot of these actors like so fucking rich themselves. They're all like 1%ers.
Yeah. Probably not 1%ers, but
10%ers.
They're